in Maraland, so that we can have people who can protect the security, who can provide security and protect people and their properties, because it's really getting out of hand. We are losing people each and every day, even those who are going to the soko to sell their goods and even to provide food to the people who are living far from the towns. But they are attacked on the way, they are killed, and nothing is happening. Nobody is being arrested. So we don't know how long we are going to experience this. How many more lives are we going to lose so that people can act? How many more homes can be broken into so that people can act? So I'm kindly requesting that this time we need an action, and if nothing can be done, people are going to protest in our towns. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Number 5, Nabi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is specific. Waziri, what are you doing to ensure that the resources available to you is equitably distributed in all parts of the country? I'm saying this because out of 5 police stations in my 2 sub-counties, only 1 has a vehicle.
Thank you. Number 6.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my question goes to the CS that incidents of banditry and cattle rustling are increasingly taking shape in Turkana County, despite the ongoing operation in some parts of the Kerio Valley. And I wish to ask, because most of these raids are taking place in oil-rich areas, is there any relationship between what is going on in that particular place, because there's been FDP public participation going on in Turkana County, and these are areas where these particular raids are taking place. And if the government, and what measures is the government putting in place to ensure that these bandits that are not running away from their areas where the operation is taking place to come and terrorize people from areas that do not have insecurity areas? Is the government taking any measure to contain these people so that they don't run away from where they are currently, so that the operation or the SOG can be able to get there? Thank you.
Number 7.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask the Minister, we've had the gazettement of 5 locations and 9 sub-locations, but they've not been operationalized. As such, we have a security problem in Kisumu East. We have tried to work with the community policing. They are not able to help us because they're not being paid, and the policy and operationalization of community policing is not working. Finally, Mr. Chair, NGCDF has put together 4 police stations lately. We have no vehicles, and there's encroachment in some of the police station government land. I've approached the ACC on this, and I request the Minister to kindly look into this and supply us the 4 police vehicles that the IG had said he would send to us. Thank you, sir.
Number 8.
Mr. Speaker, swali langu ni juu ya utovu wa usalama Lamu. Kwa nini tumeng'ang'ana kwa karibu miaka 5, tunang'ang'ana tupate sub-county ya Kiunga Ward, hatupati. Na tunajua kule sababu ya logistic challenges, geographical position yetu ya Lamu, kuna island na mainland, na kwa sababu ya utovu wa usalama tunafaa kupata sub-county. Lakini tumefuata sheria zote zinazotakikana, lakini hatupati sub-county. Sijui ni kwa sababu vile, manake mimi Speaker nimeshindwa, nimeng'ang'ana, nimetuma mabarua, nimeenda hizo ofisi mpaka nimechoka, siendi tena. Nimeenda jukwaa la usalama, pahali popote waziri anapokuwa yuko mimi naenda kuuliza. Labda nyinyi Speaker hapa na wenzangu munisaidie, manake mimi nimeshindwa, nimetafuta njia zote hawanipi. So labda jibu lije kwa Speaker sasa, kwa sababu sitaki hata kwangu, manake wanaitikia vizuri kisha inaenda hivyo. Au ni kwa sababu wameweka chief ambaye analipwa karibu miaka 5 sahihi na haezi kukaa kwetu kwa sababu chifu wa sehemu nyingine amewekwa kwetu, ndio hamtaki kutupa sub county, na chifu huyo haezi kukaa kwetu, na hatutakubali huyo chifu aje akae kwetu. Hata ikibidi ni kufanya vipi, hata kaa, kwa sababu ile ni kwetu, hatuwezi kubali sehemu yetu iende sehemu zingine. Sijui sababu ni hiyo. Pia Speaker, kule Lamu kuna curfew kwa miaka 15. Curfew tu siku zote, kila ikifika saa 12 jioni Lamu huwezi ingia wala kutoka. Huwezi ingia na ndege wala huwezi toka. Hata kukiwa na emergency usiku ni hatari. Ishatokea emergencies usiku, hakuna ndege inaweza ingia. Kweli security ni paramount, lakini hizo siku zote hakuna solution linapatikana mpaka sasa. Wakati wa COVID, lockdown tu sehemu kidogo mlikuwa mnaona shida. Sisi tumekuwa na lockdown miaka 15, ni haki? Hata kwa Mwenyezi Mungu ni haki? Mna nia gani na Lamu? Na Speaker, wale polisi wote ambao hawatakikani, utasikia hakuna ati sheria ya kupeleka punishment kule. Kwangu naweza kuletea listi kwako Speaker, sipeleki listi huko. Nitakuletea mimi, niko na paka namba zao za kazi, nitakuletea wewe list. Watu polisi ambao paka president akienda kwangu anaekewa polisi kama 2 wamchunge sija kaleta aibu. Wanakunywa tembo tu na kukaa kwa sababu ni stress kwao, wamekaa zaidi ya miaka 7. Wako naweza kuletea list.
Sawa. Kemei number 9.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And my question goes to the CS concerning the security of teachers, and especially in Kericho County. Honorable Speaker, when the results were released, the KCSC, this particular school, Moisitotwet, where parents, when the results were not good, the parents waited for the teachers outside the compound, and they threatened the teachers just because of the poor performance. Here, even in wherever. So the security of teachers is actually of concern. I want to add this, Honorable Speaker.
Wewe mwenyewe ni mwalimu?
Mimi ni mwalimu. Yes. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Now, and apart from that, Honorable Speaker, and Litane High School, there was this serious strike. And because of the strike, the teachers' property were banned. The school, of course, was banned. And up to now, nothing much has been done for the teachers. They are still traumatized. So I want to ask the CS, what plans does he have concerning the security of the teachers in schools, mainly the boarding schools?
Thank you.
And Honorable Speaker, I'm also concerned about the village elders. Their security is also key. And last year, I came with a statement concerning the killing of one Joshua Mutai. And up to now, the culprit has not been found. The case went cool like that, and nothing has happened. So, Honorable Speaker, I feel something should be done. And I believe the CS still remember that the President pronounced himself concerning the village elders that is giving a stipend of 3,000. That was from last month. That is January. I believe our CS has some information concerning the same.
Number 10.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, where I come from, there is a game reserve called Kitui South Game Reserve, where insecurity is the order of the day. I would want to hear from the minister why can't we have Malisa Warip for Kitui South Game Reserve? I would also want to hear, Honorable Speaker, from the minister, whether it is a government policy for the police to pursue people all the way to the church in terms of tear gassing. And if that is not a government policy, where are they getting that authority from? Because worship places are sacred. The last question, Honorable Speaker, relates to promotion and posting. Honorable Minister, some of your officers have been in the service for over 10 years, 15 years, and they have never been promoted once. Others have served in hardship areas for more than 10 years. They have never been transferred. How do you expect such officers to work for you effectively? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Minister, deal with those 10.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I hope in dealing also with some of this will preempt some of the concerns that people have, especially say, police station cars and administrative units, among others. First, let me start with the question of Majority Leader on drunk police officers. The Speaker, this question of alcohol abuse and addiction is not confined to just citizens. It's also the police officer. They are part of the society. And we have a good number of police officers who are addicted to alcohol. Mr. Speaker, some also abuse drugs, and that must be confessed. Even in my Jukwaa la Usalama forum, there was a particular police officer in Migori who came to the function drunk, Mr. Speaker. And of course, after I asked later his colleagues why they could not even dissuade him from coming to the meeting, knowing that he was drunk, they said that it was impossible. He's an OCS, and he's the one who's leading the police station. One of the biggest challenges, later when I now understood why we get security reports from Timaru and that part of Migori in the Kuria side, a lot of security challenges because the person in charge of the police station is drunk. And then, I was told half of the police officers within the police station were also abusing alcohol. So, Mr. Speaker, this issue must be dealt in two ways. One is that out of compassion, those who are addicted to alcohol are meant to be taken to rehabilitation centers. Now, what we agreed after our conversation in Jukwaa la Usalama was that the IG needs to develop a framework to ensure that no police officer will be deployed drunk. And that framework can only be enforced if the OCS is in charge. So you need to deal first with the 1,200 OCSs to grill them and vet them to ensure that they have that certain level of discipline and they are not addicted to alcohol. And that process is ongoing to start with. Then you need now to deal with the strength of the police. I went during Jukwaa to Bomet, for example, and there was a police station in Konoin where they were saying that everybody was drunk. And then, that reflects that's a reflection of the security situation in that area. So the point is this: we have a problem of alcohol abuse, drunkenness, addiction within the police service. It must be dealt with, first of all, by taking those who are addicted for rehabilitation. But the second part is that you cannot be, everybody here, including ourselves, are trying to say we need to be compassionate and, help them, rehabilitate them. But, Mr. Speaker, there must be an end to that. There must be a limit to it. If you are in disciplined forces, you must accept that we'll take you to a rehabilitation, give you your dues, and discharge you so that it opens doors for other people to serve. Otherwise, if we say we rehabilitate and bring them back, maybe you are given only one chance, and then thereafter, you must be able to leave the police service. This is an issue that is a problem to all of us, as you know, as citizens of this country. Rehabilitation and addiction is an issue. So that process is ongoing. Sometimes some officers are still in office, basically only because there is no other officer to be transferred to that area. So it's also linked to their strength. And the 10,000 police recruits will help us create a framework of balancing what's happening across the country. And on the question of Karatina particularly, that police officer was deployed, Karatina, Kitengela, and many other incidents where police officers have killed civilians or their own colleagues because they were drunk, is a failure by the OCS because he's the one who is in charge of the police officer. So it's not enough that that man was arrested, he was charged, and the process is ongoing. It's also important that the OCS is held into account by his disciplinary standards in terms of managing his police officers in that area. So the message must go to all our OCSs, even from this statement here, that they will be held personally accountable if they are going to deploy officers who are known to have mental health challenges, or probably they are drunk, or they may have social problems. I asked this simple question to many of the OCSs during Jukwa, that how do you end up deploying somebody whom you know that he has marital problems or family issues? He's telling you he wants a leave for 10 days to go, and you're saying it's not possible for you to go, and you're keeping him in the station. The next thing you hear from colleagues, they're saying, nitapita na OCS, ama nitapita na mtu kwa station. And it is taken lightly. Mental health issues must be taken seriously. The police officers we have now are young. Some of them are of a generation that they have no stamina to deal with mental health problems. And yet, those of us who are in positions of authority perhaps forget that the police officers are a reflection of the society. That is an ongoing issue. I am also thinking of perhaps having, we have our report from Jukwa, but maybe issuing a policy directive, Mr. Speaker, on this particular issue of drunkenness and indiscipline, deploying officers who have no proper mental health to be able to deal with the issues. Again, we need to, after this recruitment that we did recently, we need to have a proposal from the IG's office or the National Police Service as to how many police officers will be recruiting annually, and then we put it in the annual budget so that we don't wait for 3-4 years to do recruitment, because then the acute shortage that is in place, some police officers are just there to show that there is a police officer, yet the word being used is that they are not serviceable, in the sense that they are not able to provide services to the people. I also agree with the other issue is, and I'll mention in my statement, and Majority Leader captured it, is the question of dealing with gangs, goons, and criminals that are used particularly for public functions. This has become a very difficult area for the police officers because the owners of the gangs sit in this house. They sit in high offices, Mr. Speaker. They are in Senate, they are in National Assembly. Some of them are in high political party offices. And the problem is that every time these people are arrested, the political leaders go and intimidate the police officers in the locality. They also visit our offices, visit the office of the IG and demand that they be transferred. When you go down to find out why they are demanding a transfer of police officer, it is only because that police officer is not playing to their tune in terms of gangs and goons. I have asked the IG and I've told the IG that you have protection of my office. No one should be able to intimidate police officers. Police officers must do their job. They must do it independently and impartially. We must be able to deal with gangs. In this invasion of Parliament of June 24th, was it 25th? 25th. I think 24th and 25th, because the protests were 2 days. And the invasion of this house, I expected, Mr. Speaker, that members of Parliament unanimously will support the process of enforcing and arresting these criminals and gangs, including their financiers. Mr. Speaker, we found statements from a section of the political leaders in this house that, Mr. Speaker, are aiding and abetting and supporting people who are invading such public institutions. Let me just sound this warning that it will not stop at the Parliament. They will come to your CDF offices, and you have no monopoly of gangs. Some gangs are yours, some other gangs are also being recruited by your opponent. If the police officers were to look the other side and allow these gangs to continue operating, none of us, no politician, no member of Parliament, whether you are in opposition or in government, can be able to function. Remember that you are of a particular class of people who are considered to have some resources. And the day these gangs are going to unite to come for you, they will not care which side of the political divide you are in. It is important that all of us deal with this systemic issue of gangs because it's mutating. It starts with political bouncers, it goes to political goons, and then it moves to gangs because these people are being maintained using resources. And the same way we have bandits in other parts of the country, these are urban bandits, that are actually terrorizing citizens. And Mr. Speaker, every time a crackdown is done, the same way you've seen in some parts of Nairobi, we see that political leaders are supporting them. The judiciary is not even doing better. A situation happens like the one that Parliament was invaded. We are investigating some members of parliament, political leaders, their sponsors, and then they go and get anticipatory bail, Mr. Speaker, that they cannot be charged. And then, you know, it is okay to say to get anticipatory bail that you cannot be arrested. But you can't give someone anticipatory bail that they cannot be charged. Because if the evidence is existing, that person should be charged. Let the courts weigh the evidence, Mr. Speaker, and determine whether or not that evidence meets the threshold to convict the person. But you cannot deny the National Criminal Enforcement System an opportunity to present that person before court. And the reason why this disease of gangs and goons is persisting, Mr. Speaker, is because they have their own collaborators in the judiciary. And some magistrates are already on standby, Mr. Speaker, to release people who have banned courts, attempted to ban parliament, banned police stations, Mr. Speaker, steal guns, and banned even public facilities, including schools, people's shops, people's markets. So, Speaker, when we said we are going to charge people for terror, we meant it because the Constitution the Anti-Terrorism Act is very clear that if you are carrying out activities that are meant to scare people, wide-scale in nature, including burning of houses, including stealing guns, including, Mr. Speaker, scaring a section of population, you are supposed to be charged for terrorism. You know, people think that terrorism is just because of cross-border or an enemy coming from elsewhere. A terrorist can be sitting in such a very beautiful chamber, Mr. Speaker, and perpetuating certain acts. Why we must be rough on the question of gangs is that it is no longer confined to Nairobi. In the old days, we used to have Jeshi la Mzee and some other characters, Nairobi, Kisumu. But now villages have gangs. Mr. Speaker, in Kitale, for example, in Saboti constituency, I'm forgetting, we have this gang in, they're called Kapenguria 6, who are operating around Kitale. And you know, invading people's farms and, you know, all that. We have another gang that is 47 brothers, 42 brothers, operating generally around Western, including in Butere. Mr. Speaker, we went very hard on the Butere gang, and you can see the stealing of the cows and invading people's farms has gone down. But, Mr. Speaker, they just go down kidogo, and then they come up because they get the incentive from political leaders who are paying them. So, Mr. Speaker, if I was to speak freely here, facing all of you here, I would mention names of people here who have gangs. Yeah, Mr. Speaker. And because, Mr. Speaker, because Mr. Speaker, no, that's okay. Because, Mr. Speaker, these are intelligence reports that we have. I would rather allow the DCI to continue the investigation to get the proper evidence that can test can stand the test of prosecution before the court of law. Mr. Speaker, if we come for you around these gangs, please don't think that we are doing it because of political reasons. We are just doing it. Yes, on the question of, yes, I agree, and I need to come back to this house later on the details of what we will do or what we are still doing about the June 25th invasion of Parliament, among others. Mr. Speaker, last statement, let me say this. No politician should come to us thinking that they are coming with clean hands. I see some of them going to issue press statements because his gangs have been overpowered by the gangs of his opponent, you know? So because you lost the battle that day, you call a press conference. And you know, you accuse the police, you accuse the government, you have a selective memory of mentioning my name. and become even tribal in terms of determining which police officer or public officer you are going to mention. Mr. Speaker, we are not going to allow that. We will deal with those gangs ruthlessly. And every time we have dealt with them ruthlessly, those politicians don't get out of their houses to campaign because they cannot do it without goons. on the issue of Honorable KJ, that was number one. Number two was Honorable Mumina. We are dealing with the Isiolo issue. That issue is of great concern. I agree with you that perhaps we should have gone hard early. Our police officers also, and the team that is doing operation are also strained, particularly during this drought period, because the problems have gone up. You see, we are dealing with a problem from all the way from Turkana and West Pokot. You come to at least Baringo internally, which was internal Baringo. We have stabilized Baringo. We have stabilized a lot of Laikipia. We've come to Samburu, and Laikipia is stabilized except north. So that challenge of Isiolo and Meru is the one that giving us headache with the one of Turkana and West Pokot around Aro area. And because the Special Operation Group has been doing a very good job, they are also small in number. We need to train more. We need to give them more resources because they are using specialized equipment so that we can be able to solve that issue. I promise you that we will deal with this operation, but we will put in place measures for long-term presence of government. You see, we have, our biggest problem is in Mukokodo Forest and those areas of Malaso, La Bendera Hills. Those places, we are working to make sure that we have government training facilities in those areas. And I'm glad that the Nyeri members of parliament are here. The last time I was in those regions and said we will take part of the training of police officers to those areas, people were up in arms because they don't understand our country. Yeah, you saw some people saying we are closing Kikanjo. And close it and take there because of cheap politics. What we want to do is that instead of our police officers only training in Embakasi, Kiganjo, and these areas in terms of field work and practicals, we better have practical training facilities around those areas so that we can increase security presence there. And it's not just for the police, it also includes the KDF. Next week, I'll be sitting also with the conservancies. We've facilitated the conservancies to have NPR to a high level, and they have very good equipment. We want to see how they will cooperate with the National Police Service. I have a meeting with them next week to see how we can collaborate together using the NPR. And finally, we are vetting the NPR. Those NPRs who have been also turning to become criminals, we are going to deal with them. And if we deal this problem in Isiolo and Samburu, then the people of Meru are going to be free because those criminals call Meru the ATM area. They like going to attack the Meru side because they know as armed criminals in Meru side as it is in the other parts. I agree with you also that we have had another phenomenon where pastoralists, when they move, they want that area to be gazetted to be their administrative unit. Either a chief moves during grazing period like now to Isiolo, and they want to extend the boundaries and move with their chief and establish a location and so forth. We have been dealing with that phenomenon, and we have said that as a ministry, before gazetting any administrative unit, we must get proper intelligence report and proper public participation to ensure that we are not encroaching on each other's administrative boundaries. I am happy, Mumina. I almost called him Mumina, that all of you come to our offices, want officers to be transferred. You are fighting as leaders. So depending on which leader came last, one comes today, say that county commander is a bad one. The next one comes, this one is a bad one. The one comes, next one. Don't transfer your political problems to security officers. Because one of the effective county police commander who was there was transferred after all this noise was saying that, this man is not working. Now everybody is saying he should come back after the insecurity happened. We couldn't have reached where we are if the police officers were not interfered, if the work of the police officers was not interfered with. And so we have had to bring him back, but in the neighboring county. And that kind of work, the IG is under immense pressure when their officers are also not being given operational space or opportunity to work because of political interference. And then on the issue of KJ, this is another area that judiciary is becoming an impediment. The laws, there's no lack of legislation. It's enforcement. And every time DCI carries out enforcement, the courts, without blinking, just give out court orders. Look at that block called Kenya Times and another one called, there's another one called 7-something, something 7. Yeah? Channel 7 something. They post fake news continuously. Sometimes inciting communities, that, and they will put your picture. They will put, I saw they put Honorable Memusi's face yesterday, and they're saying Memusi has said community X must not stay in Kajiado and so forth. And it's allowed to just sit there. If you arrest and take person to court, the first thing is the court say freedom of expression. Where is the freedom of expression when that person is inciting in the country? So the DCI, as you've asked, does he not have capacity? Does he require more laws? No. What it requires is more tools and equipment and more officers to be trained. So we have been consulting with our budget committee to see how to capacitate the DCI strength. We have strengthened the DCI cybersecurity team, but we need to have them to have more equipment and to have more resources so that they can be able to hire the young people, the young Gen Zs who can assist us to unravel some of these challenges that we have within the cyberspace. On the question of Honorable Nguris, I have taken note of your concern. It has been a great concern. There were security changes in the past. There is a complaint across Honorable Rueda, and everybody here, I don't think there is a county where people are not complaining of overstaying police officers. And so what should happen after the recruitment in August, after the pass-out parade in August and September, we should be able to do massive rationalization, bring in new energy who have come from college, move and mix it with those who have experience, and make the necessary transfers. Remember, I promised, courtesy of Ujukwala Usalama report, and the IG promised that we are going to also help our officers who have been operating in frontier counties like Lamu, Tana River, Wajir, Mandera, Garissa, Marsabit, Turkana, West Pokot, Samburu, give them an opportunity also to move from those areas, especially those who have served for 5, 7, 8 years. It should be 3 years and someone moves. So that will be possible after the pass-out parade in about September, that we can do massive transfers. However, that does not mean that in places like Samburu, where the leadership have failed, the Inspector General of Police is going to look into the deployment in that area, and we have consulted while we were here. On the question of equity of distribution of resources, you see everybody is touching where Nabi thinks, because he's only looking at his constituency, he thinks he's the only constituency that has a problem. Nearly everyone here, I don't know a constituency here that has enough police vehicles. Yeah, I don't think there is a constituency here that has enough police vehicles. Everybody requires police vehicles. And the reason is because we are about 6 to 7 years behind schedule in terms of replacing the ones that were procured 2014. So because of that, there is a problem. And so there was a replacement recently when the IG replaced about 70 cars to replace different police. And there's another one coming up for 200 and so. But indeed, we need about 2,000 vehicles to serve police. And the procurement has been curtailed by lack of proper resources that we have always required. We were hoping that we get 3,000 last year. By end of last year, we started procurement. The financial resources were not available enough for the same. So we are working now 1,200, which we hope we can get in the next few months. I see the MP of Langata, among others. Even Nairobi, I thought you should just hire a border, among others, Mr. Speaker. The third issue. So this issue is going to be sorted with systematically by having a proper, in the 200 that is coming, we need to equitably send. What we have told the officers, if we send to different counties, you share. You share the vehicles that we are able to send. Honorable Protas, I am glad you are asking this question of West Pokot and Turkana County, Mr. Speaker, is because we haven't, the serious operation that happened in the lower belt has not reached that corner of Aro, the question of Kainuk, and those areas. Mr. Speaker, when the serious operation happened in Baringo County and Elgeyo Marakwet, in Tiatich, in Baringo North, in Marakwet East, and those parts of Pokot, Sigor, a smaller part of Sigor. Most of the criminals went to hide in Sigor, the border of Sigor, Samburu East, no, not Samburu East, Turkana East, and in Aro, which is Turkana South. So they are hiding around Masol, which is in places like Kaptalomo, places like Lomelo, those areas, and the Amaya areas. So now we have about 3,000 to 4,000 guns-wielding bandits hiding around that belt. You know, sometimes when you hear, Mr. Speaker, and I must say this here, because my county was also affected. When you hear political leaders speaking, you will think their county is safe and clean. You will think that there are no bandits in their own counties. If you hear Turkana MP speaking, you will think Turkana is clean place. You hear a politician standing and saying, Murkomen must resign. But Mr. Speaker, even those who are speaking like that, you know that he was buying a gun. The intelligence report shows that he has bought a gun just the other 2 weeks. He has bought bullets. You see, you can fool other people, but you can't fool me because I come from that area. So, Mr. Speaker, the thing we are doing is to enable the SOG team, Mr. Speaker, to have a greater strength for us to be able to assault that area. I've told you 3,000, almost 4,000 guns operating around that belt, especially after some of the criminals ran away from the Baringo side and from some West Pokot side, especially Sigor constituency, to go and confine themselves in that particular area. Remember that these are attacks. Sometimes they come and attack West Pokot, like they did some weeks ago. At the moment, I don't know where they have a better strength to attack the side of Turkana. Turkana has that area of Lokichar, that area of Aro, that area of Kainuk has suffered consistent attacks in the last 2-3 weeks. But Mr. Speaker, I promise you this. The way, Mr. Speaker, we freed most parts of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, some parts of West Pokot, and Laikipia, Mr. Speaker, we shall free that border of West Pokot and Turkana. I promise you. It will be, at the moment, the criminals are running around because they know that is still a safe area. But give us a few months, Mr. Speaker, they will have to surrender all those guns that they have. At the moment, as I read in my statement, we have collected over 1,200 guns in West Pokot, in Elgeyo Marakwet, small parts of West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Baringo. Mr. Speaker, as we move towards Turkana, and Mr. Speaker, it will be painful. Forget about the noise you hear now, politicians speaking. The day we do what we have to do, the noise will be unmanageable. And I am prepared for that noise because I have gone through it before. The IG is prepared, the National Police Service. Painful, Mr. Speaker. It's because, again, as I said earlier, the sponsors are sitting in this house. You know, their associates and their PAs are the ones who are buying the bullets and the guns. And, Mr. Speaker, you will hear in the news, the day the police catch up with their associates and their PAs and their friends who are supplying those guns and bullets, Mr. Speaker, When they are apprehended by police service, you will hear them come here with statements and issue other press conferences. I will never be intimidated when it comes to this issue of banditry. We will deal with it and deal with it with finality, Mr. Speaker. And no amount of press conferences and stories. People, if it helps them to speak in press conferences to get votes, maybe. But I'm not going to do politics on this issue of security. We are going to make sure that West Pokot and Turkana are going to fight in classrooms with pens and books, not using guns, Mr. Speaker, and bullets. Mr. Speaker, let me also add that I saw the other day, let me use this opportunity to clarify something. At the moment, my ministry is carrying out massive ID registration in Turkana, West Pokot, Turkana and West Pokot. And Mr. Speaker, that exercise, I went and launched it in Turkana, in West Pokot, in Kapenguria. On the same day, after launching that exercise, and we were with all the elected leaders of West Pokot, I went to meet the security team in Kainuk to plan on the operations we are supposed to plan. I felt very sad that some of the elected leaders from Turkana said, I went to meet West Pokot MPs and I didn't go and meet them. Mr. Speaker, these were two different assignments. On one hand, we are doing registration, and I'm going to Turkana in Lodwar to sit also with the leaders there to see how to assist them. They have been requesting that they need their people to have IDs. I'm going there to discuss matters of ID, and Mr. Speaker, they can leave to us to deal with the operation first. We'll have a meeting of leaders of both sides after the operation has become very painful. At the moment, it's still, people are just laughing and calling press conference. When it becomes painful, when no one will be able to speak, we will have our meeting between the two leaders, and it will be hallelujah at that point in time. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Shabir has raised the same issues of vehicles I have responded to. I agree with him on the question of land. We at the Ministry of Interior are working out to see how we can secure police assets, land especially. Land for immigration, for police, for government is being grabbed all over. When we went to Kitui, when we were doing the national celebration in Kitui, we realized some of our land has been grabbed by unscrupulous, and that is the case everywhere. Kitale, Nakuru, Kisumu, as has been said, especially these urban areas, because it's prime land. Mr. Speaker, we are working on the process of documentation, being assisted by Minister of Lands, to see how we can secure. It will also require some money to do fencing. Where we can do together with NGCDF, let's help each other, because that is an area that we need a lot of support to secure the land. On the operationalization of administrative units, as I said, it requires 2.2 billion to operationalize all of them. We are unable to do all of them, but I don't think there is a sub-county gazetted which we have not operationalized. Gazetted. I don't think there is a sub-county gazetted. I can say this with a lot of confidence. Gazetted sub-counties have all been were done early this year. If there is a member of parliament who thinks his has not been gazetted, text me after this, they will all be gazetted. All the sub-counties gazetted will be operational. All. I can say that with confidence. We are moving now to divisions to see whether we can finish the divisions. The biggest challenge is the locations and the sub-locations. And why the sub-locations are expensive is because you have to employ somebody afresh. For the sub-counties and the divisions, we already have officers who have been employed, who are either ACCs operating in offices in the national level or DCCs. That is easier to deal with. However, Mr. Speaker, we are sending DCCs and ACCs to places where there are no offices. So there's no office, there's no car, there's no anything. But, the leaders come to us and say, we're too Matu, we will see what we can do from there. So I want you to do that which you promised us to do, to make them, have comfortable working environment as we work towards the chiefs and the assistant chiefs. It's expensive for the chiefs because it comes with their allowances, comes with their salaries, and it comes with the AIE that they are going to use in the new administrative units. On the question, and that should answer the question of Honorable Rueda, Kiunga sub-county is not yet gazetted. So it's among if we are unable to meet the budget of those not gazetted, the biggest challenge is to deal with now new ones. However, as I promised in this floor, on this platform, we are going to take care of a few of the counties that were, they didn't get gazetted units because of political marginalization and other reasons. You know, somebody who was sitting, considered Kiunga to be important, or some other sub-counties that I already have the list. So in the fullness of time, and not later than June this year, we can gazette a few of them to take care of that affirmative action, including Kiunga. So you have my word. You don't need to harass the speaker. You have my word, and you know the reasons why we are unable to do that. On the chief of Kiunga, I know what you're talking about. It speaks to what Honorable Isiolo Women Representative had spoken to, Honorable Mumina, which is this question of pastoralism moving with our location or moving with our chief and so forth. But we should not put so much emotions the way you did, because the security issue should find a friendly way of resolving that matter. On the question of staying police officers, I've responded. Number 9, Honorable Kemei, on the curfew issue of Lamu, we will review the curfew. You did not ask, but let me respond. We review the curfew, Mr. Speaker, the day the security situation improves, to allow us to review the curfew. Mr. Speaker, on Honorable Kemei, I'd asked about teachers. I think it's not right to beat any teacher because the results of your children are not meeting the standards. Failure in school is not a factor.
Iko nini? Samejibu maswali yako.
Waziri ananiambia, waziri anasema watu wa Lamu waendelee kukaa na hii curfew mpaka security kwe sawa. Tumekaa kwa miaka 15. Ni haki atuambie tuendelee hivyo hivyo. Kwani hakuna njia ya kufanywa mpaka, yani hiyo miaka 15 hamjapata suluhisho mpaka sasa. Hakuna suluhisho ya hiyo curfew kaondolewa. Ni haki Lamu, watu wa Lamu, ikifika saa 12 hakuna ndege inaingia Lamu, hakuna take off or landing kwa sababu hakuna runway light, na hakuwezi toka nje ya Lamu au kuingia Lamu. Hata kufanya kazi sisi wabunge na kwa shida.
Bwana Speaker, ni ukweli, but also that curfew has helped stem the security challenges we have in that area. And there is no great inconvenience that can be equated to loss of life. Mr. Speaker, the number of lives we've lost on that road, Mr. Speaker, and because of the failure to have that curfew, cannot be compared to economic benefits. We can suffer inconvenience, but to save lives. So with the situation, particularly, Honorable Rueda, at this point in time, when we are approaching elections, and we know what has happened in Lamu before around election time, we have to be very careful when we are dealing with security assessment and security measures that will save lives. So we will review this in the fullness of time. Mr. Speaker, on the question of Honorable Kemei, I must say that I don't think it is right to beat teachers because of poor results. Poor results, Mr. Speaker, I am not an educationist, but I taught for 5 years. Mr. Speaker, even though it was a university level, but Mr. Speaker, failure in school is a combination of many factors. It's facilities in that school. It is the diligence of the parents. How do you wait? How do you wait your child until the end of until the examination year for you to know even what was going on in school? You know, some of those schools, some of these schools we call top schools in the country, we parents are being harassed all the time to be in school with your child, to follow the progress of your child. But we are all sitting down and waiting in the neighboring school, especially if it's a day school, for a miracle during examination time, when you know that your child has not been doing well from Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, what will change in Form 4 in the last term, Mr. Speaker? So that we should not pour our frustrations on innocent teachers. But also the teachers may not be innocent, but you deal with it in good time and in using the right channels. Beating teachers, And I promise that the security team must look into all the reported cases of harassment or beating by teachers and must take very stern action. Mr. Speaker, that includes any cases of banned property in Litein High School. On the village, vetting, verification, and registration is now ongoing, and thereafter it will be followed by appreciation of these village elders. On Honorable Makali, we have, this is an issue that the Member of Parliament from around this game reserve, Honorable Rachel Nyamaya, has been appreciation of these village elders. On Honorable Makali, we have around this game reserve, Honorable Rachel Nyamaya has been on throughout, in my office, privately, and so forth. And we agreed that KWS should take over the game reserve. And they were to sign an agreement with the county government. So the last time I engaged on this matter, Governor Malombe and Mr. Kanga, the DG KWS, had a meeting to see how they can agree for a management of the game reserve by KWS. Once government takes over that game reserve, it should help us now to manage it properly, because there are bandits operating from there with guns, so that they are stealing people's livestock and attacking grazers. Some of those grazers also are grazing there illegally. So the same issues must be dealt with objectively. Mr. Speaker, is it a government policy for a church to be tear gassed? Of course, Mr. Speaker, it is not. And I have, and I'm sure he's referring to the incident of Odaya. Mr. Speaker, it is only that sometimes by accident, when police are dealing with gangs. Let's start with, what is the cause of the problem? The biggest problem is the gang-wielding politicians. Let's start with that. A politician who walks everywhere with goons and gangs, attracting his opponent to walk also around with goons and gangs. And they have no boundaries. They take their goons and gangs up to church, like it happened in Embakasi. You know? So that for the police to deal with the goons and gangs before even the church service began, they had to lobby tear gas to separate the two. Thankfully, in the Embakasi situation, we managed to ensure that, none of the gangs and no police officers got a tear gas to the church. But in the one of Odaya, Mr. Speaker, is a very, very strange phenomenon, because the reports is, Mr. Speaker, there is a confusion whether it was a police lobby tear gas or it was a tear gas that was carried by gangs themselves and goons of either of the politicians who are having political competition. I want to explain this very clearly. So the investigations are ongoing to establish whether there was a civilian who was carrying a gun in a canister or something and lobbied inside the church. Be it as it may, notwithstanding the circumstances of that situation, I do not believe that any police officer should throw a tear gas inside a church, except, of course, if that church was not a church service, assuming that terrorists were hiding inside there. But you should never, churches should be a sacred place. And I speak this both as a son of a pastor, as a speaker, and as a Christian, and as a cabinet secretary. That is the place that should never be defiled by any politicians, whether you are supporting side A or side B. That should not be condoned. And as you know, the IG has promised that investigations, once they establish the facts and the persons involved, they will be charged in a court of law. Mr. Speaker, I'd like also to add that is this a government policy? Okay, promotion of officers and transfers, I have said as much. I think that's all I wish to say, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I will. Which one is unanswered? Member for Kajiado North.
Thank you, Speaker. The issue of Kitengela. He rightly answered the issue of Karatina. It was asked by Ichongwa. We rarely agree. But Kitengela issue, a senior DCI officer is the suspect in this question. He said from the police officer who shot somebody in Karatina, the OCS can even be taken to task about it. What about the Kitengela issue? Because it has not gone to court. Investigation has been done. The DPP has even given recommendation. What is it that is not happening about the Kitengela and even the cover-up that the DCI wants to do over that issue?
Sorry, that was an oversight, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
If I can do as follow-up. Where police officers are involved, usually it is not them to investigate themselves. It is the IPOA to do so. Because these were not obvious circumstances. For the case of Matira, yeah, it was Karatina. It was straightforward. You know, thanks to CCTV cameras, you could tell exactly who it was, and disciplinary action was taken, and then the person arrested and charged. For the one for Kitengela, it needed further investigations by IPOA, and to the best of...
Does IPOA have capacity to carry out criminal investigations?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. It's actually the only thing they do is the criminal investigation on parts of the police where police are culpable. But the police officers are cooperating. The National Police Service is cooperating to make sure that those mentioned officers, DCI officers, are taken through the legal process. Yeah.
Honorable members, I will, it is now 1. I'll take 3-3. Which one is unanswered, Shakil? Operationalization of?
5 locations and 9 sub-locations that have already been gazetted.
The answer. Order Jalango, he was not. But it was answered on Shakil. He said he's finished with the sub-counties, is now cascading downwards. Isn't that what you said? Okay, let's, wow. I'll take 3-3. Scindia 1. Is that Lekuton? Lekuton 2 and Karemba 3. This side, member for Fafi, Ijara, 1. So you are number 4. Magarini 3, 6. I've taken 3, 4, 5, Sunguli 6.
Mr. Speaker, I am in the middle here.
And I'll give the chairman of security.
Mr. Speaker, I am in the middle. Where do I belong?
Who? I'll give you Taitumu. Just hold on. Let them ask. Number 1. 1 question each. We are running out of time.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable
I'll also
Speaker.
give you Aluke. Just take a seat.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm in the middle.
Who is in the middle? Kipchumba.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'll give you. You are disadvantaged. You know you are sitting very far from me. You will be number 7. Cynthia?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We have a very bad situation in my county, in Aldai constituency, a ward called Kaptumo Kaboy, a village called Kapso. Honorable Speaker, we have a young gentleman by the name Engineer Nixon who died, who was killed by bandits in Turkana. Honorable Speaker, of course, we empathize and we really went to support the family. But the problem I have, Honorable Speaker, and I would like the Minister for Interior to be able to address this, not for only Nixon Engineer, but for every other person who falls victim to the banditry that is still happening in this country. Honorable Speaker, there is no official communication to the family in regards to exactly what happened. And number 2, there is no proper official update in regards to the investigations into the matters that surrounded his dying. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, can we get a policy way forward from the Cabinet Secretary regarding how the victims of banditry will be treated going forward in regards to the things that they used to do and even in terms of compensation, Honorable Speaker.
Number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to commend our able minister for his commitment
We have run out of time. Stop
to secure our
praising the
nation,
minister. Just ask
continue
questions.
to give Kenyans hope. Mr. Speaker, I'll just make it mine quick. Mr. Speaker, there is a situation in Marsabit County at the moment, specifically in a place called Yale in Kargi Division, Laisamis constituency, that now demands a serious intervention, Mr. Speaker, because of this existing drought. And Mr. Speaker, I'd like the minister to put more emphasis, to put more troops there to help avert a volatile situation that could happen any time. And Mr. Speaker, therefore, I'd like to urge our minister to look into this problem because already we have one person shot yesterday, and to at least make sure that each person goes their own boundaries for us to have existing peace in that region. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Number 3.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the security situation in Runyenjes constituency is currently very bad, and it has everything to do with the theft of farm produce. From the mango farmers to the avocado farmers to the banana farmers and lately to the coffee farmers. Initially, theft of farm produce and especially coffee used to happen in factories, in coffee factories. But it is now happening even in the farms, where the thieves are even cutting the stem and harvesting the coffee at the convenience of their homes and other places. So now, farmers in my constituency are seriously discouraged because you plant your mangoes, you plant your other crops, but you are not there to harvest, and you don't benefit from it. So many have left the activity of farming, and the situation is so bad that it is being accelerated by the illicit brew, the availability of illicit brew and cheap liquor in the constituency. And this issue featured prominently in the Jukwaa la Usalama that was led by one CS Murkomen. So I would wish that the CS speaks to this issue because it is so bad and discouraging and has lowered the quality of life of my people in Runyenjes constituency. Please, CS, speak to this
Point
issue.
made. Number 4.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to talk about the issue of the Al-Shabaab attack in Hulugo town. Some 3 weeks ago, we lost a teacher and a chief. And the unfortunate part is that the office of the DIG or the Minister of Interior, they just went there without involving the local leaders. That is one concern I have. The other concern, 1 week later, I am not blaming the police officers or DCI or the anti-terror. There's a special team that they came there around midnight, and they collected 2 wazis. One is Sambur Abdullah Olo and Mohammed Kenyan. And after a long fight from the local community, they tracked those security guys from Hulugo town up to Garsene, which is over 200 kilometers, running after each other. Then they throwed out of the car Mzee Sambur, who is an old man, 80 years, and until now, Mohammed Kenyan is nowhere to be seen. So it's the people of Hulugo town. They are in a panic situation as you speak for the last 1 month, both from the Al-Shabaab attack from that side of the other border, and also from our own security team. So I would like to ask the minister, what is he doing on that? And why is he not involving the local leaders when they are visiting their respective leaders? I want to ask him, is there any area MP maybe from Ijara? Because I was not involved that visit from his office. Thank you.
Number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. While we were in Naivasha, residents of plot 575 were subjected to unlawful eviction which was supervised by police officers from Marereni and Gongoni, supported by heavily armed goons. And as I speak, they are still camping there to still erect a fence all around the plot. Despite the fact that the residents obtained a court order to stop the activity, they are still on with the activity of fencing the plot under the surveillance of the goons and the police officers. Bwana CS, I need your urgent intervention into that matter. At the same time, Kazuhoni residents are suffering malicious damage to their properties. Again, under the supervision of police from Gongoni Police Station. Bwana CS, I need your intervention to that matter.
Sunguli.
Mr. Speaker, I first want to thank the CS for...
I've stopped you from praising the CS.
No, I'm not praising. It's just as the basis of my question.
Yes.
That for the attention they paid to the problems in Angata and Lolgorian. But Mr. Speaker, the problem of insecurity in Lolgorian calls for new attention. Because Lolgorian is a gold area, the minister should consider putting special attention to security in Lolgorian and Masrura. Now, the issue is, I have... praised us for putting up police stations. I have put up a police station in Masrura. When you gazetted the new police stations, you did not include Masrura. I put up a new a place for the DCI in Lolgorian town itself. You have not populated that place. Could the minister...
Usalama, one thing that came out very prominently and repeatedly all over the country is the very dire state of our police stations and police posts all over the country. It's the same thing, Honorable Speaker, that we noted as a committee when we were doing rounds. And Honorable Speaker, CS, you remember when we had the pass out of the chiefs in the State House, His Excellency the President made a pronouncement, or rather, I think probably a suggestion, that considering that it is almost impossible for the ministry to fund the facilities, the police station and the police post, we can able to have it as a shared function between ourselves, the ministry, Ministry of Housing, and possibly, of course, the NGCDF, which we have continuously been doing, but they seem to have been probably a more organized and structured way to do it. What I want to know, and as Speaker, I remember I raised it in Ivasha, maybe the CS can apprehend the House, possibly what the President exactly intend was in addressing this big problem that is all over this place.
Well, okay.
Thank you.
Well, okay, number...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Waziri, there is a problem in Sirisia, and this problem is about the vehicles. Our vehicles were borrowed to go to Lamu when there was a problem there. 5 years down the line, we've not received them back, and there's a lot of problems in Sirisia because of theft. People are stealing coffee, going to the other neighboring country. People are stealing animals, cows, to go to the neighboring countries. The police are using border. Even the OCPD, the 4 OCSs, because we have 4 police stations. So we are waiting for these vehicles, Waziri, to be replaced. the 3 vehicles that were taken by the Interior Ministry to be brought back. Thirdly, secondly, Honorable Speaker, the problem of Syria also is about encroaching. I want the minister to take charge and take action about Changara division. Changara is in Bungoma West, Syria division, but there is an officer in the office of the president who is corrupt, called Osia. Just cassetted the division and took there the DO, and we have been cool. I've been cooling down my people, Honorable Speaker, but we have reached a point when people will fight. I think the ministry or the CS, you will not blame the people or blame the politicians, because this thing went to the Senate, and the Senate took action, discussed and deliberated about it, and saw that Changara is in Syria, Changara is in Bungoma, not Busia. I want you...
Point made.
No, Honorable Speaker, give me a minute. I'm requesting Waziri to remove the DO from Changara and decassette the division. Otherwise, we will not be blamed. Thank you.
Murugara. Give Murugara the mic. Just
thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. Honorable CS, you began by commending NGCDF for putting up police stations and posts. But I regret to inform you that I will name 6 of them in the Raka constituency that have been put up by NGCDF, but for the last almost 5 years for each, we do not have any police officers there. What assurance do you give to us that as soon as you pass out the 10,000 recruits in Kiganjo, these police posts and stations will now be fully operationalized and we will have police officers there? They are as follows: Karini Police Post in Chakariga, Kirigicha Police Base in Mukothima, Kachiongo Police Post in Mukothima, Kironi Police Post in Gatunga, Karandini Police Post in Gatunga, and Tonya Police Post in Mariband. Thank you.
Cape Chumba will be the last.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question to the Cabinet Secretary. First of all, we just have to appreciate that police officers risk life and limb in service to this nation, and that when they get injured, we must remember that they should not be a liability. They should be seen as an asset. As you've shared that you are reviewing some acts and bills that you have in mind, like the National Police Service Veterans and Fallen Heroes Bill, I'd wish to ask, what policies are you putting in place to assist injured officers to be reassigned or retrained on the new potentials that they have after acquiring disability? And then what are you doing about those officers who are now stagnated? I have about 3 of them that have visited my office. They got injured in 2014, and they were corporal.
One was a senior sergeant. Everybody has been promoted
up the ladder. They've been left to stagnate. What are you doing about that?
Point made.
Thank you.
Chumba. Taitumu. Just press the button and you'll get the mic.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I will be very brief. First of all, Waziri, you made a pronouncement on 2nd of this month about an operation